Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Paul Cairns and today we'll be discussing selective sharpening using a layer mask. This is a really good technique when you want to paint in exact amount of sharpness you want in selected areas of a photograph. When you're doing printing, this is probably the best technique for making prints, the kind of sharpening you want to do for making prints. This particular image here was actually photographed with a negative, and it's not a digital. It's digital now because I scanned it, but originally it was an analog image. And it was photographed using natural light with a very, very fast lens, wide open, like 1.4, and probably quite a slow shutter speed, anywhere from an 1/8 of a second to maybe a 1/30th of a second at the top end. When you're working with that combination, a lot of times you can, even if you're focusing on the eyes of the portrait subject, the softness might be too much for you in the end, and you need to selectively sharpen an area. So for her, this model Paula Patrice, on her left eye, it's a tad on the sharp side. Very easy to correct. It's not so out of sharpness that it's not recoverable. It's actually quite recoverable. This technique is even more prevalent when you're using digital cameras, because digital cameras tend to be really soft just in general, even the high-end ones. It's just how they're made. A lot of cameras have built-in sharpening. I don't recommend using that. I recommend just no sharpening at all in camera and doing all your sharpening in Photoshop after the fact when you're working with RAW. So anyways, let's begin by creating a duplicate background layer. So Ctrl J or Command J on a Mac, and then go up to Filter, go down to Sharpen, and then Unsharp Mask. This will be a little bit on the slow side because the file is quite large on my desktop. Okay, zoom out a little bit. Now I'm going to zoom in on the actual image itself so you can see how much this Unsharp Mask is actually sharpening on it. And if you look at the amount, it's at 190%. The radius is at 7. Now, this is a very over the top, and it's okay because it's going to be hidden by the mask, and you can be able to paint in areas at different opacities, and it won't look horrible like this. It will look quite lovely in the end. So I can preview it off and on. You can see the difference. Okay, so it's okay to go too far at this point. And I actually recommend that you do go a little bit over at this point, and then just select OK, and away you go. Like I said, the file size in front of me right now is actually quite huge, so if it seems slow, it's because of that. After you've applied the Unsharp Mask to your layer, go up to Layer, go down to Layer Mask, and then click on Hide All. Now the mask has been created on the layer, and basically it is blocking all the data that you just of this layer, and basically what you're seeing is the layer underneath it now. And what you want to do is you want to paint in areas on the photograph to bring out the Unsharp Mask in those areas. So press B on your keyboard to bring up your brush, and make sure to look at your color palette here on the left side and that it's on white. White is the opposite of black, and that's how you paint in the sharpness. And if you go too far, you can bring it back by selecting X on your keyboard to bring up black on the color palette, and it will paint in black, and thus reducing the amount of sharpness in the area. Alright, let's begin again by zooming a little bit more. So Control or Command plus on your keyboard. Go a little bit closer. Let's do one eye at a time here. Okay. The brush size you can control with your bracket keys. So right bracket, it increases the size, left bracket decreases the size. Opacity is up here for the brush. You can use your keyboard commands, pressing 1, 2, 3, 4 to bring up the percentage. So 1 would be 10%, 2 would be 20%, 3 would be 30%. We'll begin at 30%, and I'm going to start painting in white on the layer and painting in the sharpness. Now as long as you're holding down, it will keep painting the same amount on that area. Once you release and you go down and you press again, you're basically doubling it. For me, I always paint around the eye as well, like the eyebrow, the eyelid, under the eye, to bring out a little bit more sharpness and texture in the area. But then I concentrate most of my sharpness actually on the iris and in the pupil area, like that. Alright, we'll zoom out a little bit. And we'll paint in this now. And it looks pretty even to me now. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and toggle it off and on, and you can see the difference. Also, I'm going to paint in the mouth a little bit. It's okay that it's unsharp, but I just wanted to bring it up a little bit. And I love her teeth here, so sharpen that a little bit more. And zoom out. Now, again, if something you feel is over the top or too far, you can just press X on the keyboard to bring up black in the color palette on your left side here. And then you can just paint over that area a little bit to reduce the amount of sharpness if it's gone too far for you. And that's how you do selective sharpening in Photoshop. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. My name is Paul Cairns. You can see more of my work at my website, paulcairns.com, and you can read more tutorials and my thoughts and ideas about photography on my blog at paulcairns.com/blog. The name of the blog is Through the Photographer's Eye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'll be continuing to make videos, tutorials like this for people to hopefully learn something and enjoy. And if you like the video, you can also give it a thumbs up. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.